Hello, superheroes and supervillains. It's your friend Sean PVS 101. Welcome back to a new video on my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing very well recently. Today, I was on my phone looking up on social media what's something new going on around the world for 2025. I was looking up on some movie news on the app called Twitter, aka X. I was being bored on that app. I was looking anything new going on in this app, anything new, anything movie news related. I was looking at my phone. I was like, anything new going on? But I just found out Universal has been changing release dates for their two upcoming animated movies from both of the popular franchises, the Shrek franchise and the Despicable Me / Minions franchise, because accordingly, Universal has now changed release dates for both of their popular animated movie franchises for Despicable Me and Minions, because right now, Shrek 5 originally supposed to release in the summertime of 2026, but apparently Universal changed that into release it now in the December time of 2023. And later on, Minions 3 was originally supposed to release on June 30th, 2027, mark the 10th anniversary of the third Despicable Me movie, Despicable Me 3. Universal also changed the release date for Minions 3 to June 30th, 2027 to now July 1, 2026. Yep, we're getting a Minions 3 in 2026. I'm not that surprised, because I did not see that coming for Universal Pictures announce they changed their release dates for Minions 3 and Shrek 5 for changing their release dates, because Minions 3 is now releasing on July 1 of 2026 and Shrek 5 for December of 2026. Because as for my thoughts on this news, I personally did not see that coming, because I did not notice Minions 3 will release on July 1 of 2026, closer to the 4th anniversary of the second Minions movie, Minions: The Rise of Gru, which is a pretty good, interesting release date for the 4th anniversary. And I'm pretty optimistic for a third Minions movie. I know the Despicable Me franchises has gone very popular, because I am actually a fan of the Despicable Me movies, because I love the first two movies. Despicable Me 1 and 2, Despicable Me 3 and 4 are not that bad, but they're not that great movies. And also, the first Minions movie is still not that bad. I find that movie to be a guilty pleasure. I find this movie to be alright, which I enjoy the first Minions movie, and also I do love the second one, The Rise of Gru, which is, I felt this movie is take this franchise back to its place, because I find Minions: The Rise of Gru very exciting, in my opinion. And I'm pretty optimistic for a Minions 3, because I just don't want to hate on a franchise like Despicable Me 3, because I just try not to get tired or bored of this franchise, because I don't want to get really angry or outraged on the Minions, because I personally like the Minions, in my opinion. I think they're pretty fun characters in the franchises, especially the main Despicable Me movies, because I think, in my opinion, the Minions in the main Despicable Me movies are actually a lot more funnier than they were in the actual movies. Don't get me wrong, I still like them as sidekicks, but as main characters, especially in the first Minions movie, I think they're not that interesting, well written compared with Gru in the other movies, because for me, Gru is such a fantastic, well developed character I just really love to relate and very connected for. But for the Minions, I still love characters like Bob, Kevin, and Stuart. I still love the three Minions, but I think Gru, in my opinion, has some better character arc throughout the movies because Gru is the main character of the franchise than the Minions. But I still like the Minions no matter what. They're pretty guilty pleasure characters. While I'm pretty optimistic for Minions 3 in 2026, but the one thing I'm pretty interested for Minions 3 because of I just like to see this movie as a follow-up to the 2022 movie Minions: The Rise of Gru, because I find Minions: The Rise of Gru to be very exciting and a lot of fun, because I find this movie to be a major step up compared to the first Minions movie back in 2015, because I find the story to be a lot better and a lot more improvement compared to the first one back in 2015, because of the director Kyle Blanda might listen to the criticisms of the first Minions movie. What went completely wrong with it? But Kyle Blanda, the same director who directed Minions 1 and Despicable Me 3, trying to fix some improvements of the first Minions movie to make it a lot better, with Minions: The Rise of Gru to bring a young Gru into the movie, like make a young Gru origin story set in the 1970s, which is a very better smart move. Which I just really love Minions: The Rise of Gru. It's probably my personal favorite Despicable Me movie because I really love Minions: The Rise of Gru, along with the first movie and the second movie. I just really had a wonderful time watching Minions: The Rise of Gru. The one thing I'm excited for, Minions 3 in 2026, I want to see this movie set in the 1980s, because in the Minions prequel series for the Despicable Me movies, it has featured some like old decades, like the first one set in the 60s, the second one is set in the 70s. Maybe in the third movie, we might have an 80s movie right now, because I feel like Minions 3 might set in the year 1983 or maybe 1981. Years after the events of Minions: The Rise of Gru, we might see Gru growing older as a bit of an early teenager, going to the supervillain like summer camp along with the three Minions, and bringing Dr. Nefario in this movie. Hopefully, Gru wants to become the greatest supervillain of the year during the early 1980s of the summer season. That would be a pretty fun idea for this third Minions movie. Hopefully, we see some cameos in this like supervillain summer camp, like a young Maxime Lamal. That'll be pretty interesting. Also, a young Valentino and a cameo in Lycée Pabon. That'll be pretty cool. Also, I'm pretty excited to see more younger Gru in this third Minions movie, because I really love young Gru in the prequel Minions movies, because he's personally my favorite character of the franchise, because I personally love Phenolius Gru, voiced by Steve Carell, because Gru from the Despicable Me franchise carried this movie series because of the first movie back in 2010. The one movie that started all. So yeah, I love Young Gru. Young Gru is such an awesome and adorable character, because the reason why I love Young Gru so much, because of he's kind of look like me. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm pretty both excited and optimistic for Minions 3 in 2026 because as a Despicable Me fan myself, I'm pretty optimistic more because I know many people are a little tired of the franchise because we're on movie number 7, which I get it. I understand how I feel. Well, not in like unlike other franchises, which I'm sick and tired of, like Ice Age, Hotel Transylvania. Sorry about that for my cough, but I still love the Despicable Me movies. I personally had a fun time with these movies when I grew up in the early 2010 decade. I have fun memories with it. I still love the Minions. I still adore Gru as a character. I still love all the movies. Well, they're not perfect, but I think the first two movies are amazing in my opinion. And Minions: The Rise of Gru was very exciting, a lot of fun, but hopefully the third Minions movie, Minions 3 in 2026 will hopefully this one will not disappoint me because fingers crossed for Minions 3 will not disappoint me. But as for my opinion on the upcoming Shrek 5 for December of 2026, I was pretty optimistic and a little excited. Excuse me, I burped. Anyways, I was pretty both excited and optimistic for upcoming Shrek 5 in 2026, just like Minions 3, because I've seen Shrek 1, Shrek 2, Shrek Forever After, Puss in Boots, and Puss in Boots The Last Wish. Because as for my thoughts on those movies, I'm actually a Shrek fan as well. Just like I did with Despicable Me, I personally love the Shrek movies. Shrek 1 is an absolute classic. I love Shrek 2. Not seen Shrek the Third. Shrek Forever After was a great ending to the franchise. Puss in Boots was a fun movie. And Puss in Boots The Last Wish, mwah, amazing, brilliant masterpiece. I adore The Last Wish. Easily my favorite one in the franchise. When they announced they're making a Shrek 5, I was a little excited and optimistic at the same time because I hopefully this movie revive the Shrek franchise because many people were very hesitant on the third and fourth movie, especially Shrek the Third, which, that movie, yeah. Shrek the Third was pretty awful. I rather watch Despicable Me 300 times over Shrek the Third. Because at least Despicable Me 3 doesn't have any uncanny, disturbing nightmare sequences, unlike Shrek the Third does. So yeah, I personally don't want to watch Shrek the Third, but Shrek Forever After, I kind of like Shrek Forever After. I don't find this movie not that bad. I really enjoy this movie a lot. Still not perfect as the beloved first movie, but I still really like Shrek Forever After because of the villain of the movie, Rumpelstiltskin! Probably my favorite Shrek villain of the franchise because Rumpelstiltskin as a villain is so much fun and very lovable. So yeah, as for my thoughts on the Puss in Boots movies, I liked the first movie. It was good. It was fun. But the second movie, however, wow. Just freaking wow. Easily the best one of the franchise. I love everything about Puss in Boots The Last Wish because it has some of the best animation I've seen in a DreamWorks movie in a long time. I love everything about Puss in Boots The Last Wish. Especially my boy, Jack Horner. Oh yeah. But for my thoughts on the upcoming Shrek 5, I was pretty excited and at the same time both optimistic. Just like how I did for Minions 3, I was pretty optimistic for Shrek 5, how Universal and DreamWorks might revive the franchise because Hopefully, this movie will have a continuation on the Shrek family. Hopefully, we'll see Shrek and Fiona's kids, the ogre babies, might grow up as early teenagers. That would pretty cool story direction. Hopefully, we see focus on the family aspect of the Shrek family, like Ferguson, forgot Felicia, and forgot the other kid's name. But I want to see those three ogre babies grow a bit more older as early teenagers when the kids learn to be more learn to be more independent and more matured, just like how most teenagers in life. Just like hopefully we'll see that I like to see some moments in Shrek 5, like Felicia when she turned to like this normal, like independent teenager, like how Riley did in Inside Out 2. That would be pretty cool and interested to see Felicia turn to like Riley in Inside Out 2, this early angsty teenager, while Shrek and Fiona has to deal with it. But we'll see how it turns out in December of 2026. I want to see like Shrek's children to grow up because it's been like maybe like years since we saw those Shrek characters in the fourth Shrek movie. Hopefully, I'll like to see the characters age. That'll be pretty awesome. So yeah, overall for my thoughts on the both upcoming Minions 3 and Shrek 5 been changing their release dates for 2026 by Universal Pictures. For my thoughts on this announcement, I was pretty bit surprised because I did not see that coming as a movie fan, because as a Despicable Me fan and Shrek fan, I personally did not see that coming. I was very optimistic for for both movies. Not extremely hyped for it, but I was still excited at the same time. So yeah, hopefully these movies will be great and amazing, I think. Who knows? Hopefully those movies were good, in my opinion, because I know many people on the internet were sick and tired of franchise fatigues, which I do get it, or get it where it comes from. Which I'm almost getting tired of some franchises. I'm this close, but as for these upcoming Minions 3 and Shrek 5, I'm both excited and optimistic in my opinion, because I like both franchises from Universal, because it's what it is. Well, that's for my video, for my channel. I hope you love this video. Give me a like and subscribe. Subscribe to my channel, comment down below with this video if you'd like it or dislike it, share opinions down below, and also share your comments down below. Are you excited for both Minions 3 and Shrek 5? Share your opinions in the comments down below. I'll see you guys in the next video, and get totally wicked!